Wednesday morning and welcome to Korea Today, brought to you live from Seoul.
To prepare for the reunion of separated families from war to be held late next month, South Korean Red Cross and Hyundai Asan officials will visit the Mount Kumgang Resort today to check the condition of the facilities.
The Education Ministry aims to implement new sets of measures for college admission process. Details just ahead.
Head of Democratic Party camps out in the streets. More coming up on In Print.
Now, there are tens of thousands of families here in South Korea who were separated by the Korean War, but only 100 of them will be selected to reunite with their loved ones in the North next month. What's behind the selection process? I have the story still ahead.
Also on Korea Today, you can't see them, you can't hear them, but they live with you in your homes. We're talking about germs today that can threaten your child's health. Then we'll take you to the country's art hub, the Seoul Art Center, where more than 1,500 performances are put on yearly. All of this and more today on Wednesday, August 28th, 2013.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And good morning, and thank you for joining us on Korea Today.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure most of you are excited about Chuseok, a harvest holiday that's exactly 3 weeks away. But it looks like we can also look forward to next year's Chuseok, which is likely to become a 5-day holiday following the government's announcement yesterday of its decision to implement the alternative holiday system starting in October.
And this is why I have this big smile on my face. The alternative holiday system, what it does is it lets you redeem a holiday that happens to fall on the Sunday of a calendar month. For example, let's use Children's Day, which is on May 5th. Now, if that holiday was to land on a Sunday, then basically you would kind of be putting it to waste. You would not be able to make the most out of it. So what they'll do is they'll make the day following that holiday a day off, so you would get 2 days off and you'd be able to maximize your holiday.
We're talking about happy people here, happy workers. All right, we'll go to Na Hyung-kyung for a check on the day's headlines.
A preparation team for the upcoming inter-Korean family reunion will be heading to Mount Kumgang in North Korea, the venue for the event, on Wednesday. A group of nearly 60 personnel will make a visit to check on the facilities there. Now, in the meantime, the South Korean government has revised and offered October 2nd as the date for working-level talks with North Korea to discuss reopening the shuttered Mount Kumgang tourism project.
This is considering the fact that we had reached an agreement over the family reunion as well as the Kaesong Industrial Complex. Also, there are other various issues that need to be processed.
North Korea initially wanted the Mount Kumgang talks to be held later this month or early next month, but South Korea had offered September 25th, which is now the date for the family reunion, saying it needed more time to prepare for the working-level talks. Pyongyang has not yet responded to Seoul's offer. The chair of the UN Commission of Inquiry, Michael Kirby, has urged Pyongyang to allow the UN inspection team to enter North Korea and fairly assess cases of human rights violations. During their 5-day public hearing in Seoul, the 3-member UN panel said they were able to gather stronger evidence of existing allegations, for example, the existence of prison camps. They also got insights into some new matters such as trafficking, forced abortions, and other indignities against women. Another round of investigation will begin in Japan, mostly collecting accounts on Japanese abductees to North Korea. The Commission's findings will be presented at the UN General Assembly in New York in October. A final report will be submitted to the UN Human Rights Council next March. There's less than a week left until the September regular session gets underway at the National Assembly, but ruling and opposition parties are still unable to reach a compromise on some of their unfinished business. Main opposition Democratic Party lawmakers continue to stage an outdoor protest and are refusing to return to the National Assembly, making it difficult for the ruling Saenuri Party to give the green light to last year's fiscal account. DP Chairman Kim Han-gil on Tuesday reiterated the need to hold a one-on-one with the president, but the presidential office of Cheongwade remained silent on the matter. Experts have strongly condemned both the parties and the president, saying the current standoff will only make matters worse and delay other major upcoming events in the political arena, including parliamentary audits and budget meetings. And moving on, the government has unveiled its plans to simplify and improve college admission procedures. The Ministry of Education says Korean history will be a mandatory subject in the college scholastic ability test from the 2017 academic year. Some of the key changes in the plan include abolishing differentiated test set levels and unifying admission criteria for all universities. The ministry also announced that it will reduce the number of admission methods offered by universities starting next year. Education Minister Son Nam-soo says the new system will benefit both students and teachers and also reduce costs for the schools, but test takers and their parents are raising concerns that this will add even more pressure to the already stressed out students. The government will hold public hearings before finalizing the rules in October.
Good morning, everyone. Let's first go on over to talk about the rising criticism against the political deadlock between the ruling and opposition parties, as well as with the president, Park Geun-hye, as you just heard from Hyunkyung's headlines. Let's first take a look at our 동아일보, and the headline up here reads, President Park needs to reach out to break political gridlock. So the Daily talks about the current situation where neither the opposition party nor the president is able to come to terms about holding talks. The opposition party has been demanding an apology from the president in regards to the National Spy Agency's alleged meddling in last year's presidential election, and a two-way meeting between the party head and President Park Geun-hye as well. The paper, citing political experts, says the president should open up more to the demands of the opposition party and reach out to them. The presidential office of Cheongwade, as of now, says the spy agency scandal should be dealt with at the National Assembly, that is. But political experts say this is the same as turning a blind eye to the current distorted political structure where the ruling party is seen as protecting the government while creating a standoff with the opposition camp. But experts also do note, according to the Daily, that the Democratic Party's act of holding outdoor rallies is not the right approach either. Now, speaking of which, let's go on over to our next daily, Gyeongyang Shinmun. And the headline, so you're seeing here the Democratic Party leader Kim Han-gil, and the headline up here reads, the #1 leader of opposition party camping out. So this is Kim at his tent set up at a downtown plaza next to the Seoul City Hall. What's interesting is that on the table right behind him are the books on democracy by Robert Dahl and The Price of Inequality by Joseph Stiglitz, according to the caption. So the article right under tells us that since Tuesday, Kim began camping out at the tent office after holding outdoor rallies for 26 days. The Daily says he has upgraded the level of protest to demand unveiling the truth behind the spy agency scandal and push for two-way talks with President Park, like I just mentioned earlier. Now, Democratic Party leader Kim Han-gil has proposed on Tuesday to first hold two-way talks on quote-unquote restoring democracy, then hold a five-way talk to discuss the livelihoods of the people. The five-way talk was what the president had initially proposed to the opposition party. Cheongwade has yet to respond. Let's go on over to our Chosun Ilbo and look at some news on Japan. The headline up here reads, Abe holds power to exercise collective self-defense. This right of collective self-defense allows a country to aid an ally under attack. But as the paper tells us, conventionally, the interpretation of Article 9 of Japan's constitution, which prohibits an act of war, was that Japan cannot exercise that right. Now, the Japan Cabinet Legislation Bureau, which is in charge of interpreting the Constitution, had maintained that the Constitution need to be revised to allow the right of collective self-defense, according to the Daily. Now, citing Asahi Shimbun, the Daily tells us that the newly appointed Director General of the Cabinet Legislation Bureau, Ichiru Komatsu, said it is not up to his bureau to change the interpretation, but the cabinet that holds that right. The Daily says that by passing over that authority to the cabinet, Komatsu has given the green light for Japan to hold the right to collective self-defense. As you may remember, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has been pushing for this move. Now let's take a look at this picture right over here. This is Japan's Epsilon rocket that failed to launch yesterday. The caption tells us 19 seconds before takeoff, the launch of the very much anticipated rocket was halted because of an irregularity that was detected. Japan has invested about $200 million since 2006 to develop this Epsilon rocket, according to the Daily. Now let's go on over to our business news and take a look at Korea Economic Daily. The headline up here reads, Global Financial Market Hit by Syria Shock. So the currencies in emerging countries have depreciated again after rebounding from a dramatic fall last week, according to the Daily. The paper cites the Financial Times, saying this is because of recent concerns about Western military action against Syria, on top of the U.S. Federal Reserve's move to scale back its stimulus program. The value of currencies from emerging countries, including India, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Turkey, dropped, according to the Daily. Now let's take a closer look at this graph right over here, which shows the dollar to Indian rupee exchange rate. You can see here as of Tuesday, it dropped to 65.9 rupees, which is a record low. The rate saw a bit of an increase last week after the Indian government laid out policies to tame the rising demand for the dollar, but the currency rate plunged once again this week. As for how the Korean market fared, here are your closing numbers from Tuesday's market action.
Red Cross officials in South and North Korea are busy getting ready for the upcoming inter-Korean family reunion. But out of the tens and thousands of families separated by the Korean War, only 100 of them will be able to meet their loved ones in the North come next month. For more on this, our Connie Lee joins me this morning. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning. Well, as you said, preparations are fast underway for next month's reunion at Mount Kumgang in North Korea. And like you mentioned in the headlines, Red Cross officials are going to Mount Kumgang today and will be there until tomorrow to get a check of the facilities before the reunion.
It used to be a more regular event, the family reunion, especially in the 2000s, but came to a halt 3 years ago.
Right. Well, so the first round of reunions was in 1985 with 50 families from each side. And then from the year 2000 to 2010, 18 reunions. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of attention and a lot of emotion surrounding this year's reunions because it is the first one in 3 years. But unfortunately, only 100 will be selected to go. And I'll show you the whole selection process and the harsh reality that for most of these families, time is running out.
Fathers separated from their wives and children.
brothers and sisters split from one another.
We're looking for our older brother, Kim Nam-guk. This is my brother. He was taken away during the war by the North Korean military at the age of 19.
I left my 3-year-old and 5-year-old younger siblings. I want to see them.
And children who last saw their parents more than 60 years ago.
It would be nice to see my parents again, but they both have died by now.
It's a harsh reality for families who were separated by the Korean War. But unfortunately, most of these people here at Korea's Red Cross will not be selected to reunite with their loved ones come September. There are currently about 72,000 registered separated family members in South Korea, but only a fraction, just 100 of them, will be selected to reunite with their loved ones on September 25th through the 30th at Mount Kumgang in North Korea. So when the first list of 500 candidates was announced over the weekend, tens and thousands of others were left out.
I am without words. I really thought I had a chance this time around, but I didn't get it.
The first round of cuts was made through a computer process that filtered out the younger candidates and gave priority to those who were either looking for a child or a spouse. Come Thursday, another cut. The list will be whittled down to about 200 after various health exams of the candidates to make sure they're well enough to travel to Mount Kumgang. After that, South Korea's Red Cross will exchange its list with North Korea to verify if the sought-after family members are indeed alive, before reducing the list to the final 100.
We're not sure how North Korea does their selection process since they've never made it public, but they do check if family members on their side are still alive after we exchange our lists.
With just about a month left before the reunions, Red Cross officials say they have all of their 100 and some employees working around the clock.
It usually takes us 50 days to get ready for the reunions, but we will get everything together in a month. We are speeding up the preparation process this year because we don't have much time.
It's been nearly 3 years since the last family reunion took place between the two Koreas. So when news first spread that reunions would take place this year, anxious family members started descending upon Seoul's Red Cross office, keeping volunteers and employees continuously busy.
All your information is here. We will contact you if you are selected.
Most of them are already registered members, but they came to see with their own eyes that their names are still in the system. Then there were others who submitted their names to the Red Cross for the very first time.
As I've gotten older and since my children have grown and left, I now have this longing to see my own family. I miss my family. I don't know if they'll be found, but it's worth a try.
But time is running out, literally, for many of them. Data show that in 1988, there were more than 120,000 registered members in South Korea. But as of July of this year, more than 55,000 people had passed away, leaving just about 72,000. And out of those who are still living, 80%, or nearly 60,000 of them, are over the age of 70.
It's a shame. I'm not the only one waiting for this chance. I feel like every opportunity for a reunion is my last chance to see my family.
I just hope to see them before I die. When I see my siblings, what could I possibly say? I'll probably just hold them, hug them, before saying goodbye again.
Well, it is heartbreaking to see and know that many of these individuals have been registered to be selected for these reunions since the system was first in place in the 1980s. But as you saw there, most of them have never been picked as of yet.
Right. And following the first round of face-to-face reunions set to take place September 25th, there are going to be more reunions, of course, using video methods as well.
Right. And so the two Koreas actually did agree to hold video conferences between separated family members in the North and South at the end of October. Now, 40 families from the south and 40 families from the north will have a chance to send video messages to their loved ones. Now, you can see here a conference room at the Korea Red Cross showing video reunions from before. Now, this method is possible for people who are unable to leave their houses or leave their homes because of poor health, or they can't travel long distances because of their poor health.
I mean, it won't be the same as meeting them
You're
in
right,
person,
yeah.
of course, but I mean, it is good to hear that they have other options available as well. And come November, Seoul hopes to hold more reunions.
Right, so there is word that there will be another reunion in November, and hopefully more will follow after that since time is running out. And Red Cross officials do say that in the 3 years that there weren't any reunions, about 30 to 40,000 separated family members have died. So there is a sense of urgency for more of these reunions to take place in the near future.
All right, thank you, Connie, for bringing in your story today.
You're
Many
welcome.
thanks. And still ahead on Korea Today, food poisoning, ear infections, and pneumonia are just some of the diseases you can get from invisible germs breeding in your home. Wiping and cleaning simply is not enough. We take a look at the dangers of germs and how to keep your house sanitized.
Time now to get a check on the weather with our Idami. Mornings have gotten a lot cooler.
Yeah, but those
Just
daytime highs, they keep
still
spiking
high.
up.
That's right. Our Idami is standing by in Gangnam in Seoul. Good morning, Dami.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Today I'm reporting live from Gangnam. This morning we're starting the day off with partly cloudy and foggy skies. It does feel nice and refreshing as temperatures are at 21 degrees Celsius. However, later in the afternoon, our highs are going to be quite hot. We will be seeing some passing clouds as well. But bear with the heat because it looks like today may be the last of the heat wave this year, because tomorrow we will be receiving nationwide precipitation. After the rain lets up, it looks like we will be seeing temperatures or highs falling below the 30s. Now, as of now, there are signs of sporadic showers over in the east coastal regions. Let's now take a look at the weather around the peninsula. Here in the nation's capital and also Daejeon, highs will leap to 31. Gangneung will be below the 30s with highs at 28. Town in Busan and Jeju Island, highs will reach up to 30 degrees. Now, temperature differences are quite significant throughout the day, so make sure to take good care of your health. That's all I have for the weather. I'll be back in a few moments.
And you can't go wrong with chicken is what many say. Coming up on Korea Today, Chef Andreas Kroppel will show you some fresh takes on the poultry with a hot and cold variation. Give yourself some extra energy to get through the end of summer with a bit of flavor.
Just in time for the final stretch of summer vacation, many exhibitions aimed at children are being held throughout the country. And I've been to some of these exhibitions, and great innovative and creative items are being showcased there. And here to tell us more is Angela Park. Good morning.
Good morning. Today we're going to be focusing a little bit on such products.
Great. What's our first item?
Okay.
Wow, a lot to look at today.
Yes, the first one. Let's start from this side. I'm going to actually need your help, and
All
this is the first time you're trying it, right? But this is a tent. This is the Future Car Dinosaur Expedition DX.
No, this is a bag. It's not a tent.
Well, if you open it up,
wow, this
just like that, it
pretty
becomes
neat.
a tent.
Wow,
And
where do I put this? Right
basically,
here.
yep. The child can crawl inside, have fun with it, right? And, you know, kids love like kind of burrowing in tight
This is
spaces.
so cute, right?
So they can have fun with that. But the key with this product is that most educational products comes with some type of touch pen.
These days, of course.
Right. This is the first one in Korea to come out in the shape of a little car. This is what we're calling the Future Car.
Right. It's
And
so cute. What's not to like? You know, boys and girls both like cars, right?
Exactly. So this is perfect, this being the Future Car, of course. I'm going to turn it on.
All right.
You're going to hear the engine rev up a little bit.
All right, that's a way to go.
Right. So then you take it onto this map of dinosaurs, right? And the child basically is like playing around with it, but every time they land on a dinosaur, it tells you about it.
Right, the name and the features, I would suppose, right?
basically, if you see here, there's a little eye.
Is that a sensor of some
It's the
sort?
optic eye is what we call it, and we can't really see it on this map, but there are tiny little microscopic dots that as it scans,
Let me
it
try
reads.
and turn down the volume maybe. There we go. All right, so you just go around and roam around the city or whatever you want to call it, the park.
And if every time you stop, it'll go ahead and inform you. I'm going to turn it off because it's a little bit too loud for me.
All right. And the kids will love it for sure. All right, so what's our next item? I'm already excited about this one.
The next item is your more traditional looking pen, touch pen device. This is called the Show Pen. And basically this product, what sets this one apart is that it comes with a 2.8-inch LED screen. So of course, it's a lot more visual, right? So the child can read the word as it flashes onto the screen, not to mention for those maybe with hearing impairments, things like that, it still has the visual for them. So of course, I have to let the product speak for itself.
Right, show us how this works.
Yes, this combines information technology and of course learning new languages. There's Chinese, there's Japanese, there's Korean and English.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and make sure it's in English.
English mode.
So now that I have it in English mode, you can go ahead and take it. There's of course stickers as well, but if you see,
The opposites, of course.
Big and small.
Big and small, so opposites, right?
Right. If you look at the screen as well, it of course flashes and says big and small, so the child can read it.
Okay. So it teaches you, it's a learning tool, and you know, they want to make it a more fun experience for the kids with this pen. Huh?
Right. And so it reads entire sentences. You could do time as well.
3:10.
And then if you look, it of course shows you the time, teaching the child how to read as well, right? Read the clock, that is. And of course there's stickers, and this is what's fun for the child.
Okay.
I'll let you hold that one right there. They could go around the
I'll
house.
have fun with this.
They can put it wherever they want. So, you know, they attach the stickers wherever. You can even attach it, for example, if the sticker was like clock, you can put it on a clock, right?
Right.
And then the touch device in this show
Let me
pen.
try this. So who is this person?
Pharmacist.
Pharmacist. So it would read out the name of the person and the job description, pharmacist.
That's
there.
right.
All right, what's our final item?
The final item is another show pen, but the key with this one, this is the Dream Talk, but the sound, whereas this one, it came from the pen itself, right? For this product, with the Dream Talk, it comes from this base machine. So it works, how it operates is it's Bluetooth, and so it uses, as long as you're about 10 meters within this machine and the pen, you can use it, and as long as there are no doors closed, because it does use frequency waves, you can use it pretty much wherever in your home.
So it would play music and read your stories?
Right. So I'll explain it for you. This is a similar concept in the sense that you go around and you can, you know, go ahead and put it on posters, that is, or stickers as well. This one also comes with stickers, but let me show you. The key here is not just vocabulary, but other subjects as well. For example, music. And the sounds coming from
different
this side.
instruments. All right, and there's
Cello.
the piano, the cello, the violin.
Drums.
All right, so you get to hear the sounds of different instruments and maybe play a piece of music there
Exactly. And of course you can learn about different animals as well. There's a pig, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you can change it for Korean and English and learn about animal friends and things like that. It comes with various books. There's storytelling books, but I'll show you the music option here. If you just tap it, music starts to play. And this is helpful too, because you can kind of learn to read notes as well, right?
Right.
So,
How about we play the Three Little Pigs music as we close this segment, yeah? Let's play this music. All right.
To sign off
The
with?
Three Little Pigs, that's right. All right, before the wolf comes out, let's wrap up this segment. Thank you, Angela, for that.
Thank you very much. I don't recognize the song.
Me neither.
Thank you very much, Minjung and Angela. You might want to disinfect some of those things that you just touched, because our next report is going to tell you exactly why. Now, home is where the heart is, but at the same time, it is where microscopic germs and bacteria may flourish. How clean is your home? It may not be as clean as you think. In this next report, we'll get a look at what may be growing in your homes beside your children. Invisible to the naked eye, germs and bacteria are a constant threat to our children's health. How well are you protecting your homes from these unwanted germs? We visited Son Young-eun, who recently gave birth to a baby girl and is paying even more attention to hygiene around the house because of these microscopic critters.
I clean the entire house at least twice a week. I try my best to keep the place clean since I have a small child, but I still worry.
Her home looks almost impeccable. But what about invisible germs? We measured the microbial pollution levels. The toilet was tested first. Although bleached and seemingly disinfected just 2 days before the test, the pollution level was 390,000 relative light units. This means 390,000 microbes were detected. The pollution level in the sink drain was just as shocking. It was at 380,000 RLU, similar to the bathroom toilet. All areas we checked exceeded recommended levels. Even Young-eun's hand, which is always in contact with the baby, surpassed the health standard by 4 times.
I wash my hands often since I keep having to hold my child, but I was surprised by the large amount of germs found.
The results weren't that far off for baby toys that are frequently boiled and cleaned with disinfectants. So why are there so many pollutants even after frequent disinfecting?
Cleaning helps get rid of some germs and bacteria, but germs exist in the air and on human skin, so they spread instantly. Cleaning with disinfectants is only a temporary solution.
This is Bacillus leukiniformis that was found in Son Young-eun's bathroom. This bacteria can cause food poisoning. Stenotrophomonas maltophilia, which can cause a number of serious infections such as the keratitis eye infection, was found in the kitchen. There are a large number of bacterial diseases which can be deadly to anyone with weak immune systems, such as developing young children. If not treated early on, it can lead to deadly medical conditions like septicemia.
We live with germs and bacteria, so it becomes problematic if our immune system weakens. Children are more likely to suffer from serious infections and diseases than adults.
There are many professional sterilizing cleaning services, but daily visits are not likely. So let's take a look at some tips and tricks we can easily use at home. Many Koreans use homemade disinfectants by mixing baking soda with vinegar. It's very simple to make. All you need to do is combine water, baking soda, and vinegar. Baking soda is a very effective alkaline agent for disinfecting. You can safely clean your kitchen utensils, and it does wonders for cleaning drains as well. Using effective microorganism extracts or good bacteria to sterilize is recently becoming more popular. You can easily make the solution by mixing the extract, sugar, and salt. With water left over from washing rice, just leave the solution in room temperature for 7 to 10 days before use. This can be as effective as any commercial disinfectant. You can use it on children's items that are hard to boil, or also as a hand wash. It's becoming increasingly popular since it can be bought online at a cheap price. Boiling dishcloths and hanging them out to dry in the sun is an old tradition in Korea, but this method proves to be one of the best in killing off germs.
Germs and bacteria love humidity, so it's important to maintain a dry environment. They also hate UV rays, so exposing them to sunlight will also kill them.
keeping the family healthy and away from those pesky germs with just a little care. It may not be that difficult to do.
Slightly grossed out now.
It makes you think twice, right?
Yeah, but I mean, not all bacteria are bad. If you have an obsession to sterilize everything, experts say it will weaken your immune system, as a matter of fact.
You're right, you're right. One of the things is that I think washing your hands is probably the best option, you know, wherever you go, and they always say that. Just to give you an idea of how much bacteria. I washed my hands about an hour and a half ago, you know, right before we got prepared.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I'm actually going to do
Let the whole world know how dirty your hands.
Let the whole world know just how dirty your hands can get. And you know, I don't think it'll be that bad. An hour and a half after
Something
washing my hands.
tells me it's going to go off the charts.
I hope not.
Let's see.
On not national, but international television.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to shake that around. I have this little machine here. This thing detects exactly how many.
It's the ones used in labs, right?
And it just takes 10 seconds. We'll just close that and enter.
Go. Okay.
Dun,
Countdown.
dun, dun.
8, 7, 6, 5. How dirty is Young Kim's hand?
I'm scared.
Ta-da. Here we go.
Oh, wow. Okay, no handshaking.
That's 21,000. That's close to a toilet bowl. Wow.
Okay, you are not going to be cooking anything today.
I am not going to be touching anything. Wow.
That's, the best way to get rid of all those germs is to wash your hands every 2 hours, about 8 times a day, and for longer than 20 seconds, really. Young, listen up, yeah?
21,000?
It's unbelievable.
Oh,
well,
wow.
We're talking about dirty hands, but I hope this person has clean hands because he'll be cooking our food. Our chef Andreas Krampel is standing by with some chicken dishes. Are your hands clean?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I believe that.
Do we have to test it?
I actually use the same method throughout my hotel kitchen. So I go around, I do swaps at certain points just to check that the chefs are on track, that they wash regularly, and it's a very good tool to have.
Okay.
And it's utmost important to have safe food. So today I'm preparing actually 2 chicken dishes. One is loved by young and oldest, and dakangsul. It's pretty much chicken what is being marinated with a little bit of ginger and garlic, what I'm doing now. So I'm gonna get the minced ginger and some garlic. This is pretty much the basic marinade for about 1 or 2 hours to get some flavor. After this, we'll take a mixture out of corn flour and regular flour, and I just dust the chicken with it until it's evenly coated.
Children, but also goes well with beer. I have to say,
Absolutely. I've been introduced to that with my team at the late night somewhere at a little side street restaurant. So this is pretty much your basic what you have to do. Then you have to deep fry it. And because we don't have much time, I already did this earlier. So that's how it's going to look after it's been deep fried.
Great. Yesterday we were talking about how we should stay away from deep fried foods.
This is also something you can do a bit earlier, keep it aside, and when your children or when your husband comes home, you can just finish it on the spot. What I'm going to do now is the sauce for it, what is very important. So I'm using some olive oil or vegetable oil, have some onions. Again, add a little bit chopped garlic into it.
Okay.
I'm just going to soften them up a little bit.
Chicken is enjoyed in Korea, especially during the summertime, right?
Korean paste,
Every which way,
Korean chili paste in there.
There's a lot of chicken in Korea.
Sip of rice wine, or if you don't want to have alcohol in it, you can put some water in it. And to balance the flavor, because it's now spicy a little bit, so I put some sugar. About a good teaspoon of sugar. And to make it nice and shiny, I have a little corn syrup here, so I'm adding this one too. And that's the basic marinade, really, when you coat the chicken later. So I'm going to reduce that down for about 2 or 3 minutes until it's getting a thick consistency.
I guess if you don't want it spicy, you can adjust the amount of red pepper
good balance
paste,
between sweet and spicy, and a little bit acidity in the end as well. So I normally put a sip of lemon juice or vinegar inside because to balance all those flavors. So as you can see, it's getting quite thick and bubbly now. And at this stage, I think it's perfect. You don't want it too thin, you don't want it too thick, otherwise it will not stick to it properly. And then I'm going to put my deep fried chicken pieces. Now the chicken pieces, everyone likes it different. I use chicken thighs, the leg meat, because it's more juicy, has more flavor, and it's just, I think, a better alternative for this one. If you don't want it too fatty, use chicken breast.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But chicken breast, they tend to be a little bit too dry, even with the marinade and
Correct.
the sauce.
Yes, so the leg meat for me is the best cut of the chicken. To finish the whole dish off, I normally put some chopped walnuts in the end on top of the chicken and a little bit of spring onion to make some color in there.
Run over there and
this
grab
is
that
pretty
with
much
a
the
fork.
first dish
Not
we've
my hands,
done.
obviously. 21,000 germs on there.
Put that back in the bowl. Beautiful. You can eat it right away while it's hot, or you can have it at room temperature. Either way you like
yummy.
it. So, dish number one.
So that's the number one. That's the hot dish that we're actually gonna go over there and try some of that later on. But
Yes.
then we also have a cold dish
Correct.
that you're gonna prepare.
This is
right?
actually something you can also prepare a bit earlier. This is a poached chicken breast or leftover chicken breast, what I tear into little strips, and I make a little spicy mustard marinade with this one. So what I've done is mustard powder, what I mix with warm water a bit earlier. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes, and it comes into a little paste like this, and the sharpness comes out from the mustard. So it's going to look like this. Going to add a little bit.
So this has a sort of an unconventional spice, right? A little
It's very
bite to it.
pungent, sharp spice, yeah. So you need to actually balance it with a little bit of sugar, absolutely. I put a little bit rice wine vinegar in there and a little lemon juice.
Everything that makes your mouth water, right? Lemon juice, vinegar.
And they're all strong flavors.
Right.
A little bit of soya sauce.
But they somehow complement each other,
Yeah.
right?
And of course, to balance it again, I use some sugar. So the sugar will dissolve eventually in the marinade. So that's your basic mustard marinade. You want it a bit thicker, you can also use mayonnaise to do that, but I like to use less fat and oil, so this is a really healthy marinade. And then it's up to you what vegetables you're gonna use. For today, I prepared 4 kinds of vegetables. I have some sliced cucumber, some onions, some carrots, and some daikon. And then, of course, the Korean peel gives a little bit of sweet taste to it, so that's fantastic. So just add that to the marinade.
Okay, so while Chef Krompel is working on that dish, we're gonna check back with Idami.
Who is standing by the way, with a key ingredient in cooking, which is, of course,
Salt, and we have the golden salt for you. We'll go over to Idami right now.
Over to you, Dami.
Okay, well, Tommy is getting prepared right now to show
Because
us
it
that
takes
salt.
a lot of time, and the sun has to shine on that salt for it to be
And it's also
perfect
sea
salty.
salt, I might add.
Right,
So
there he is.
I hear Tommy's ready.
She's
All right.
back. All right, Dami, back to you.
That's right, I'm ready, and I'm back reporting live from Samsung Seoul at COEX. This is where, later at 11 a.m., where the International Solar Salt Fair 2013 is going to take place. Now, Korea solar salt is known to represent or be a representative health food as the high-quality salt evaporation ponds from which they are harvested contain a large amount of minerals. Now, this produces salt that is almost close to alkalinity. And the purpose of this exhibition is to promote this quality solar salt and support the industry. Now, what we're seeing right here or right now is a mini salt evaporation pond that can be found over in Sinan of South Jeolla Province. And what we're looking at is the warehouse, and all at once we can see the process and how it's done and some of the tools. Now, what I'm holding right here is a tepa. As you can see, it's humongous. And usually in this field or in this pond, there's supposed to be water. And what you do is you sweep the salt, and then it crystallizes the salt. Okay, so that was just a little process that we looked at. Now, this process is known to be the most difficult part because when the sun is set at its highest is when everything is done, and so it gets really hot. Now, what we're seeing right here is kind of a salt path. Now, the solar salt is known to give off positive effects for both beauty and health. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, so it kind of tickles, but it does hurt at the same time, so it feels good overall. Now, the reason why you walk barefoot is because the solar salt kind of gives off a sterilizing effect, which accelerates the metabolism and it helps you relax. And solar salt in general is known to be great for your skin. It kind of vitalizes the rough skin. It also helps alleviate insomnia. So now that I've felt the salt with my body, it's time to kind of taste it for myself. All right. It is salt, so I guess it's going to be salty. It is salty, but it does have a very clean and cut taste to it. All right, so here at the International Solar Salt Fair 2013, they are help promoting solar salt, so why not come and show your support? I'm Irami, Korea Today.
And a good Wednesday morning to you all. Now, a lot of Korean football fans have been frustrated since manager Hong Myung-go took over the national team, mostly because the team hasn't been able to score. But with the former national team captain releasing his roster for the September friendlies against Haiti and Croatia, all that might change. Now, some of the more notable mentions include Koo Ja-chul of Wolfsburg and Chi Dong-won of Sunderland. Now, Lee Gun-ho, despite not playing well for the national team, gets another call for September, while Kim Bo-kyung, the star of Cardiff City, gets the nod, including Son Heung-min and the Blue Dragon Lee Chung-young. Meanwhile, over on the defense, QPR's Yoon Seok-young gets the nod, while two names many expected are not included. This, of course, Ki Sung-young of Swansea City and Park Ju-young of Arsenal. While many speculated that Ki Sung-young was taken off due to the SNS controversy, Park Ju-young just hasn't been playing at all. Well, the KBO was back in action on Tuesday night as the SK Wyverns were able to shut out the Hanwha Eagles 3-0. Meanwhile, another big series between the LG Twins and the Nexon Heroes, where Nexon beat the LG Twins 1-0 in a fierce battle in Seoul. So with that said, let's take a look at the other two games that took place last night, starting off with the Samsung Lions taking on the NC Dinos. Of course, shifting over to the game, starting pitchers in the game, Lee Jae-hak for the NC Dinos, Chao Chan for the Samsung Lions. But in the fourth inning of the game, bases loaded for Kwon Hee-dong. He walks, and NC draws first blood 1-0. Next batter, No Jin-hyuk at bat, strikes out swinging, no more damage done. Fifth inning of the game, here's Kim Tae-won at bat and drills this one to deep left field. This one is out of here, and the game's tied 1-1. Bottom of the ninth inning, Park Sung-min infield single to second base here, gets him on base. Next batter, Park Han-hee at bat. He's going to get a sac bunt here. Moves the runner over to second base, and he's in scoring position. Kim Tae-won, remember, he hit a home run here. Intentional walk, and NC looking for a double play. Next up, here's Woo Dong-gyun. He's going to pop up to third base here, and it's still tied 1-1. But here we go. Here's Kim Sang-soo at bat. He's going to single to left field, and here comes the winning run. Ball game over. Samsung takes this game 2-1, your final score. And next up, the Kia Tigers taking on the Lotte Giants. Second inning, Kang Min-ho flies out to left field. A sac fly scores the first run of the game, and it's 1-0 Lotte Giants. Fourth inning of the game, here's Butterfly Man Na Ji-won at bat. A double steal. Kang Min-ho throws to second, and in comes An Chi-young at the plate. Tie ball game 1-1. Seventh inning of the game, here's Cho Sung-hwan. Sac fly to right field gives the Lotte Giants the 2-1 lead. We go over to the bottom of the inning. Here's Na Ji-won once again, deep to left field. This one's back on the track, gone, and the ball game's tied 2-2. Shifting over to the ninth inning of the game, here's Park Jun-seo. Drills this one deep to right field, back. Got a two-run shot as Lotte takes a 4-2 lead. Next play, Sona Sup singles to right field, 5-2 Lotte Giants, but we're not done yet. Here's Park Jong-yoon at bat. This time, another RBI single to right before Lotte completes the 5-run ninth inning with a wild pitch that scores Chun Jin-woo as Lotte takes this game 7-2. And finishing things off, but staying in the KBO with all the rain that fell throughout the long monsoon season, it was time for the league to reschedule all the lost games. And on Tuesday, the revised schedule was released to the fans. A total of 57 games have been rescheduled as the games are to be played from September 16th to October 3rd. In order to get the playoffs in on time, several games will be played on Mondays, with the league trying to avoid a doubleheader. However, according to the league, if more rainouts do happen and affects the playoff schedule, they might have to schedule the doubleheaders. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys again for your sports needs.
And for another look at a beautiful area in Seoul, we are joined by Peter Bint. Good morning.
Peter.
Good morning, guys. I'm going to be taking you to the Seoul Arts Center today, and that's the first general complex in Korea for arts and culture, and it attracts over 2.3 million paying visitors a year. That's second in the world, only to New York's Lincoln Center. So with lots of different performances and exhibitions daily, here is Seoul's cultural mecca, the Seoul Arts Center. This is Korea's art mecca and the country's premier place for culture, the Seoul Arts Center. Every year, the Seoul Arts Center stages 1,500 performances and welcomes a constant wave of visitors. It offers a variety of performances from operas, plays, dances and concerts, as well as multiple exhibitions. It's just like a cultural playground. With so many performances and exhibitions to choose from, everyone can find something that suits their taste.
I come every time there is a performance or exhibition I like.
There are 5 main buildings, and each has performance and exhibition halls of various sizes.
The Seoul Arts Center first started off with the Music Hall and Seoul Calligraphy Art Museum, built in 1988. Then the Opera House was added in 1993. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the Seoul Arts Center.
The Seoul Arts Center made its mark in February 1988 as Seoul's first large-scale arts center, and it continues to be Korea's premier art and culture complex. The music hall is acclaimed for its perfect acoustics architecture, so each year world-renowned musicians are invited to put on their best performances. Just to name a few, Sarah Jang, Jo Soo-mi and Anne-Sophie Mutter have all performed on stage here.
All legendary names, right?
Absolutely. At the center is the Opera House, and it features the famous rooftop that looks like a traditional hat, one of the landmarks here. The Opera Theatre seats 2,200 people, and the stage is arch-shaped, allowing for the clarity of voices and instruments, which enhances the impact of each sound.
The stage in the Opera House is a cross-shaped stage made up of 4 legs, so we're able to continuously put up 3 or 4 acts on stage at once. The most important thing for a theatre is synchronized operation and other special functions.
That is pretty neat.
And the smallest theatre in the Opera House is the Chayu Theatre. These days it's staging a play that's very popular among children. The stage is very close to the audience, so you get to experience a very intimate and personal performance in this small theatre.
I've only dreamt of performing at the Seoul Arts Center, so I'm very honored to actually perform here. I'm most proud when I get to interact with children who have really enjoyed our play.
The height of the seats here can be changed freely, so it's ideal in staging children's performances. Across from the Opera House is the Hangaram Art Museum, which is known for being open to communication with the public. Considering the variety of tastes and expertise of people, there are many new and experimental exhibitions held here. A recent exhibition showing Western masterpieces in digital format is very popular. The digital exhibit has even added sound effects, adding a different flavor to the artworks.
When viewing these masterpieces, this will be an unforgettable exhibition because we're using state-of-the-art digital equipment to amplify even the smallest touches and agony portrayed on the screen.
This is the popular world music fountain, which dances to over 500 songs and displays a magnificent view at night with lighting. It features images like a mountain range and orchid shapes from Korean traditional paintings.
People who live nearby use the Seoul Arts Center like a park. It has lots of places to rest, and it also has water fountain shows, so I come here often with my children.
The Seoul Arts Center has been for 25 years and will continue to be an important landmark in Korea's cultural history. So for some artistic inspiration, how about visiting the Seoul Arts Center?
you didn't travel far for this story. It's right across
just across the road, right?
Right, from our office. Now, I understand that there's a facility dedicated for artists to rehearse and to practice.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's a public complex, there are some resident organizations like the Korea National Ballet and Opera, and the artists from there, they're working around the clock on new performances all the time and practicing as well.
So what are some of the new performances scheduled for the autumn season? I've been meaning to go, but I've failed so far this year, and half of the year is already passed.
There are many national performances that are planned in the autumn, and there's also an exhibit going on right now from Czech artist Alphonse Muha, and you can check out all their exhibitions and performances on the website that's going out on the screen, sac.or.kr right now.
All right. Keep that in mind, I will.
Sounds great. Great place
Thanks a
and
lot.
right across the street. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thanks.
And I'm going to head over to where Andreas Krompel is because he is done with our food.
With your dirty hands.
I wish I had a hand sanitizer or something, right?
He needs to wash his hands there.
Okay, I'm going to try this food, but not with my hands. I'll need a pair of chopsticks for that.
Yes. Just want to finish the chicken salad again.
Okay.
It's been all marinated, and then the Korean pear, I normally just chop by hand in there.
Okay,
So.
we are very short on time. I love how
Okay.
you do that, but we're going to have to finish on that and take a quick taste of this. This looks like a very, very low-calorie dish there. I'm going to enjoy some of this, and you guys could join me right after.
Okay, I
So-
want that fried chicken.
I'll save that for you. It does taste great, Andreas. I'm sorry, we are out of time.
No problem.
So over to you guys.
I'll try it. Take a bite.
Well, I
at
did
least.
actually take
Just
a bite.
have
I just missed it.
chopstick full of. There.
It's good.
How is it?
Wow.
It's really good. It's perfect for my diet. Like I said, about 100 calories right there.
No, this is actually very lean. Yeah, 100 calories, no more than this. So
Sounds
good
great.
dish to have.
I'd shake your hands, but my hands are dirty.
Don't
I'm not
shake his
cooking
hands.
anymore,
Leave
that's okay.
hold there, right there. All right, we'll join you soon.
Right, over
All right,
you
that
guys.
brings us to the end of this edition of Korea Today. Many thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.